So you're here today for your consultation for your new coffee house, is that right? And you gave me a really, really wonderful fabric scrap to work from that was part of the inspiration for this coffee house, right? So I've had a little bit of time to, take a look at the fabric scrap, and was also able to kind of just draft up a couple of ideas and design pieces that might look good. And so I wanted to share those with you today. So first off, let's take a look at this fabric you provided that's part of the inspiration. This is really so gorgeous. So this is the inspiration for the coffee house. Sorry, there's a little something there. So this is called Pablo's Puzzles, and it's one of the Hoffman International designs. I really actually love getting a fabric as part of the inspiration to help with figuring out a color palette, as well as sort of like shapes, designs, and the feel of what it might look like. And then also, there's another piece here. Also, my favorite part about having a fabric piece is that because it has the information on the actual fabric here, I also have a beautiful color guide to go off of. And so having this reference here is actually going to be really helpful, and I use that in there's a lot of little scraps here in coming up with some of the design choices here. So again, what I'm feeling overall is that this is almost like a coffee house. This is almost like a coffee house that's designed to look like a village, but it could be anywhere in the globe almost. So almost like a global village, but it's just right here in town. Okay, so what I've noticed here, going by the color palette and this fabric, is that we're going to be heavy in the purples, blues, teals, and then really lean into this gold accent for some of the design here. So I love that it's a mix of cool palettes and warm palettes, because you've got the burgundies, purples, but then also these gorgeous, gorgeous blues, and then that shimmering gold, I think, adds a lot of interest. So, let's see where to start. Now, I'm just going to keep this fabric under my keyboard. I do want to take some notes today. I hope that's all right. It just really helps me stay organized, and then also I'll be able to just have a dot matrix printout for you of some quotes and other important information versus paper and pen. So I'm going to just keep this here, and okay, so first off, I took the coffee shop name, and I was thinking, look at this fabric, look at this overall feel. What says global sort of coffee house in a village, whimsical and fun and funky, more than a font like this? So what do you think about this logo? Now, I love a location name. You could have done a play on words, puns, something with bean in it, but I think it's really important that people know where the coffee shop is. So this name works just fine. So in terms of the name now, you know, what about the font? Do you like how it's, you know, tilted to the side? Does that kind of embody the whimsy that is, you know, this fabric and this whole feel? Yeah, I think the flourishes as part of the font really add a lot of fun. Almost a youthful nature to it, you know. Okay, now next up, let's talk chairs, because I think in a coffee house you want a chair that is big, cozy, comfy, but in this case really tying in these elements of the design of the fabric here. So having something that's you know, encompasses all of those things, the big, comfy, cozy, but also whimsical chairs, right? So what do you think about this option? Yeah. Right, say, you know, something like that, but it, you know, looked a little bit more like this, where it had an interesting shape to it. Okay, now here's what I'm thinking. Because we're kind of modeling it around this fabric, so something that's a little, you know, I don't want to say busy. I want to say it's got a lot of character, right? So when you've got a lot of character and patterns and these kind of whirling lines and swoops and things like that, it's actually going to be really good for hiding stains. And that is something you want in your coffee house chair, because there will inevitably be spills and accidents will happen. So something like that. Yeah. Right. Okay. Good. So we're good to go on chairs. What's the most important thing when it comes to a coffee shop? Cups, exactly. So you do want to have the right kind of cup. Now, this is a cup from my personal collection, right? Yeah, just NPR. But what we have here is a very round, large mug that this can hold a lot of coffee in it. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for you, but I feel like it's the kind of cup that you want to cup with both hands. And nothing says cozy like cupping a large mug with both hands with whatever, hot liquid you want. So I feel like having something large with a good sturdy handle, good sturdy handle, something like that will really, go over well in the shop. But this, this is just the shape example. You need something with a really wild color palette to go along with the fabric here. So, how about something like this? Right, so it's mirroring some of those colors, the purples, the blues, right? Yes, this is not an establishment for a dainty cup. I agree. Unless you're getting a cappuccino, that's a different story. That's where you can have a smaller version. Will you have cappuccinos? Good. Okay, just making sure. Sturdy handle. Okay. So we're good to go on mugs. Yes. Still staying within this theme, this beautiful palette. Love this fabric. Let's move on to something in the wallpaper, because I think to really make a kind of a global coffee house feel, or that village feel, I think having a warm or textured wallpaper, something with pattern, will really fill up the space nicely. We don't want to have bare walls. I'm thinking wallpaper and eclectic art, as you have, local artists come through, right? So, I'm just, I feel like it's a little bit obvious here, but what if we just did a bean motif as part of the wallpaper theme? Something like this. Good. Yeah, I agree. I think, and it just goes with everything. It's got the same color palette in there. Right. Okay, so you have then we've got, let's just recap here. You've got the chairs, whimsical chairs, the mug. And again, with the mugs, you don't have to have them be all the same. There could be a mismatch sort of quality about it. Doing something like that really adds a fun element as well. So chairs, mug, then the coffee bean themed wallpaper to match here as well. And again, the color of the wall art, I wouldn't worry too much about, because that can be eclectic. It can be a mix of, whatever artists you have coming through. So, you could really be highlighting members of your community by displaying their art on the walls of your coffee house as well. Speaking of which, now, have you considered doing an open mic night? Right, now imagine having, some local acts come through. They could be playing acoustic guitar. They could be using a bongo. They could be doing poetry. They could even be doing, just telling stories, or, like a stand-up comedy act. How does something like that sound? Because if that does need to be factored into the design, because we would want to have a space for a little stage. Yeah, something like that would draw a crowd, in turn, more sales. there's space for it, so I'd say go ahead and do it. Good. Let's see. We got the wallpaper. Okay, now, what about like having your lighting? I love. Have you ever seen those globes? It's like a colorful glass globe that goes around the light. So then the light that is then diffused is a color itself. Yep. Now, yeah, again, that plays into it. We could have some of these, warm tones in the lights. I think we want to stay away from the blues and greens, but maybe just like a dark, sort of a burgundy color, or even, I guess, going into the purple, that might look nice. It's really going to set a mood. Right. Yeah. Okay. Oh, right. Silverware. Now you're gonna be serving, small sandwiches, something like that. Maybe soups. Yes. So, yeah, you've got to have like a house soup or a soup of the day that you offer, definitely. But I was thinking we stick with this design, right? But we have mismatched silverware. Different colors, different shapes. It's really going to provide that fun, funky atmosphere. And then, I feel like it's a little bit easier to shop for because you kind of get a mix of things, right? What do you think about that? And then what else? There's only one other thing you really need to have on your table, and that is, aside from the napkins, which we can just go with this fabric. Or you could do disposable napkins, sure. I love a good salt and pepper shaker, right? What if we did something kind of whimsical and funky, like this fish? It looks like it's wooden, right? But it's a sturdy salt and pepper shaker fish that's actually more of like a ceramic here. So this one, he's got a little something on his fish lips there. But can you imagine that? I think it goes really well with the design here and this fabric, because you don't want to have everything be exactly the same color. You want to bring in some other elements. You want to bring in woods, rattan. You want to bring in some natural elements, not necessarily plastics, but you don't want to have everything just be too matchy and have it only be purples and blues and this color theme here. So, now is this too wild for you? Or is it just fun enough? Okay. Yeah, I can see. You know, I could see someone, you know, taking these. You know, they need to be honest, but like, these are so cute. These are so fun. How could you not want to just stick it in your handbag and take it home with you, right? Okay, so something a little less tempting and exciting. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure we could find something. Alright, well, I think we've covered all of the most important bases. Let me print this out. In the meantime, it'll take a little while for the dot matrix printer to print it, but in the meantime, I would love to sample some of your coffee beans because you're doing the roasting locally, is that right? This is a fresh bag just from 2 days ago. Oh, I can smell it already. Beautiful job roasting. So is this a dark roast? Medium. I didn't know they had medium roast. That's wow. This smells exquisite. I think this coffee house is going to be a hit, especially with this sort of global village theme you've got going on here with this fabric and then the interior decorating that you know, we've kind of partnered on. But between the two of those, and then having you know, a place for the, you know, community to come together and have a delicious cup of coffee or you know, or cappuccino or hot chocolate, you know, for the kids. But then also having a place to display eclectic art from the community, and having a place to let local performers play. I think that's so important in having a vibrant community and a space, you know, just for people to hang out, express themselves, and then have delicious, wonderful smelling coffee. Now, do I get to keep these beans? Thank you so much.